The galaxy was quiet, too quiet. For centuries, the stars had burned in their places, untouched by anything more dangerous than cosmic winds or stray asteroids. But now something new had arrived, something that did not belong. A shadow fell across the edge of the Milky Way, darkening the light of distant suns. It was a ship, but not just any ship. This was humanity's warship, the Eclipse Asterisk, and its arrival sent ripples of fear through the galaxy. The Eclipse Asterisk was massive, larger than entire planets in some cases. Its surface gleamed with cold, metallic armor, polished to reflect the light of nearby stars. Along its spine ran glowing conduits, pulsing faintly with energy like veins carrying lifeblood. Weapons bristled from every angle, cannons capable of tearing moons apart, missile launchers loaded with payloads designed to annihilate civilizations. The ship's design was both beautiful and terrifying, a perfect blend of artistry and destruction. To those who saw it, it was clear this was no ordinary vessel. This was a weapon built to conquer. Inside the warship, Captain Alina Voss stood at the observation deck, her piercing blue eyes scanning the vast expanse of space before her. She wore a sleek black uniform adorned with golden insignias, marking her as one of Earth's finest commanders. Her face was calm, but there was a flicker of unease in her expression. Behind her, the crew worked silently, their movements precise and efficient. Each person knew their role, each action calculated to ensure the success of their mission. Yet, despite their professionalism, an unspoken tension hung in the air. "Captain," said Lieutenant Marcus Kane, stepping forward. He held a holographic tablet displaying streams of data about the alien systems ahead. "We've entered the outer rim of the Zorathian territory. Their fleets are scattered, but they're mobilizing fast." Alina nodded without turning around. "Good. Let them see us coming. We want them to know what's waiting for them." Her voice was steady, commanding, yet carried a hint of warning. She didn't need to explain further. Everyone on board understood the stakes. Humanity had ventured far beyond its home system, seeking resources, allies, and survival. What they found instead were hostile alien empires unwilling to share their riches or their secrets. As the Eclipse Asterisk moved deeper into enemy space, the first signs of resistance appeared. Small, insect-like ships darted out from behind asteroids, firing weak beams of energy at the warship's hull. The attacks were pitiful compared to the might of the Eclipse Asterisk. Shields absorbed the blasts effortlessly, leaving the ship unscathed. Still, Alina gave the order to retaliate. With a single command, the cannons roared to life, sending shockwaves through the void. In moments, the alien ships were reduced to nothing more than drifting debris. On the observation deck, Private Jace Reed watched the destruction unfold. His hands gripped his rifle tightly, knuckles white. He wasn't used to this scale of warfare. Back on Earth, he had trained for ground battles, close-quarters combat, where the enemy could be seen and heard. Out here, everything felt distant, almost unreal. The deaths of countless beings happened with the push of a button, their lives extinguished in flashes of light. It made him uneasy, but he kept his feelings buried deep inside. Now wasn't the time for doubt. For hours, the Eclipse Asterisk sailed onward, unstoppable and unyielding. News of its arrival spread quickly among the alien worlds. Panic rippled through their ranks as leaders scrambled to prepare defenses. They had never faced anything like this before, a force so powerful, so relentless, that escape seemed impossible. And though they tried to rally, to fight back, none could deny the truth. Humanity had come to dominate, and the galaxy would soon learn true fear. The Eclipse Asterisk continued its advance, cutting through the galaxy like a blade slicing through fragile silk. The crew worked tirelessly, their movements mechanical yet precise. Captain Alina Voss remained at her post, her sharp gaze fixed on the holographic map of the alien systems displayed before her. Each system was marked with glowing red dots, enemy fleets, outposts, and colonies. She tapped a finger against the edge of the console, her mind racing with strategies and possibilities. "Captain," called Lieutenant Marcus Kane, his voice breaking the silence. "We've intercepted communications from the Zorethian homeworld. They're calling for reinforcements." Alina turned to him, her expression unreadable. "Let them call. By the time their allies arrive, we'll already be there." Her confidence was contagious, but it didn't erase the tension in the room. Everyone knew what was coming next. The Zorethians were not weak opponents. They had ruled their corner of the galaxy for centuries, using advanced technology and ruthless tactics to maintain control. Their ships were smaller than the Eclipse Asterisk, but they were fast and deadly. A single mistake could spell disaster, even for humanity's mighty warship. Hours later, the first real challenge came. A massive fleet of Zorethian ships emerged from hyperspace, surrounding the Eclipse Asterisk like wolves circling prey. Their vessels shimmered with iridescent colors, their surfaces alive with shifting patterns that seemed almost organic. Weapons charge, energy beams crackling as they prepared to strike. On board the Eclipse Asterisk, alarms blared, and the crew sprang into action. "Shields up," Alina shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Target their lead ship. Take it out quickly." The battle began with a deafening roar. Energy blasts lit up the darkness of space as the two forces clashed. The Zorethians fired relentlessly, their attacks hammering against the Eclipse Asterisk's shields. Inside the observation deck, Private Jace Reeve flinched each time an impact shook the ship. He wasn't used to feeling so powerless. Out here, survival depended entirely on the strength of the warship. And right now, the Eclipse Asterisk was holding its own. But the Zorethians weren't giving up easily. One of their ships darted close, releasing swarms of tiny drones that latched onto the Eclipse Asterisk's hull. Sparks flew as the drones attempted to breach the armor. Alina's jaw tightened. "Engineering team, get those things off us now." Down in the engine room, Chief Engineer Clara Hayes scrambled to respond. Sweat dripped down her face as she worked alongside her team, rerouting power to defensive systems. With a burst of electricity, the drones were fried, falling away from the ship like dead insects. Above them, the cannons roared again, obliterating the Zorethian vessel responsible for the attack. Despite the odds, the Eclipse Asterisk pushed forward, unstoppable. Its main cannon charge, glowing brighter with every passing second. When it fired, the beam sliced through space like a spear, striking the heart of the Zorethian flagship. The explosion was enormous, lighting up the void with a fiery brilliance. For a moment, there was silence, a stunned pause as the remaining enemy ships hesitated. Then, one by one, they retreated, fleeing into the depths of space. Alina allowed herself a small smile, though it didn't reach her eyes. This victory was only the beginning. There would be more battles, more enemies to face. But for now, the crew could breathe. As the adrenaline faded, Private Jace leaned against a wall, his rifle still clutched tightly in his hands. He stared out at the wreckage left behind, his thoughts heavy. Had they done the right thing? Was this truly necessary? He wanted to believe it was, to trust that Captain Voss knew best, but doubt lingered in his mind. For now, though, the galaxy watched and waited. Humanity's warship had proven itself, and fear spread like wildfire. The stars themselves seemed to tremble as the Eclipse Asterisk sailed onward, ready for whatever came next. The silence after the battle was heavy, like the calm before another storm. The crew of the Eclipse Asterisk worked quietly, repairing damage and checking systems. Though they had won, the cost was clear. Scorch marks marred the once pristine hull of the warship, and several sections of the ship were still without power. Engineers moved quickly through dimly lit corridors, their tools sparking as they patched up the wounded giant. Captain Alina Voss stood alone on the observation deck, staring out at the stars. Her hands rested on the railing. gripping it tightly as if to steady herself. She felt the weight of what had just happened pressing down on her shoulders. The Zorathians had been strong, but humanity's weapons were stronger. Still, she couldn't shake the unease in her chest. Victory wasn't enough. Every destroyed ship, every life lost, brought them closer to something darker, a future where fear ruled instead of hope. "Captain," Lieutenant Marcus Kane said softly, stepping into the room. He carried a tablet displaying reports from the recent battle. Casualty numbers are lower than expected. Shields held well under pressure. Elena nodded but didn't turn around. "Good work, Marcus, but this isn't over yet." "No, it's not," he agreed, his tone serious. "The Zorathians will regroup, and others will join them. We've made enemies today, Captain. Powerful ones." She sighed, finally turning to face him. "That was always part of the plan. Humanity can't survive by asking politely for scraps. If we want a place in this galaxy, we have to take it." Her words hung in the air between them, heavy with meaning. Marcus didn't argue. He knew she was right. But that didn't make it easier to accept. War was messy, brutal, and unforgiving. They were fighting for survival, yes, but at what cost? In another part of the ship, Private Jace Reed sat in the mess hall, picking at his food. Around him, other soldiers laughed and joked, trying to lighten the mood. But Jace couldn't join in. His mind kept replaying the battle, the flashes of light, the explosions, the screams over the comms. He had seen death before, but never on such a scale. It felt wrong, somehow, to celebrate when so much destruction lay behind them. A voice broke through his thoughts. "Hey, you okay?" It was Sergeant Mia Torres, a veteran soldier with sharp eyes and an even sharper tongue. She slid into the seat across from him, studying his face. Jace shrugged, avoiding her gaze. "I don't know. I guess I'm just thinking." "About the fight?" she asked, leaning back in her chair. When he nodded, she gave a small smile. "It gets easier. Or maybe you just stop thinking about it altogether." "That doesn't sound better," Jace muttered. Mia chuckled. "No, it's not. But it's how you survive out here. You do your job, follow orders, and try not to let it eat you alive. That's all any of us can do." Her words offered little comfort, but Jace appreciated the effort. At least someone understood what he was feeling. Meanwhile, far beyond the reach of the Eclipse Asterisk, news of its attack spread like wildfire. Alien leaders gathered in secret councils, their faces grim as they discussed the threat posed by humanity. For centuries, they had dismissed Earth as insignificant, a primitive world barely worth noticing. Now, they realized their mistake. The humans had grown stronger, smarter, and more dangerous than anyone could have imagined. The Zorathian Emperor, his robes tattered from the retreat, slammed his fist against the table. "We cannot let them win. If they destroy us, no one will be safe." Another leader, a tall insectoid creature with glowing green eyes, spoke in a raspy voice. "Perhaps it is time to unite, to put aside our differences and stand together against this common enemy." The idea was met with murmurs of agreement. For the first time in history, the galaxy's most powerful empires set aside their rivalries. Ships began gathering in distant systems, forming a coalition fleet larger than anything ever seen. Weapons were upgraded, strategies planned, and spies sent to gather intelligence on the Eclipse Asterisk. Humanity had awakened a sleeping giant, and now it would face the consequences. Back aboard the Eclipse Asterisk, Captain Voss stared at the stars once more. She didn't know what lay ahead, but she was ready. Whatever came next, humanity would meet it head-on. Fear was a weapon, after all, and the galaxy would soon learn that humanity knew how to wield it. The Eclipse Asterisk drifted silently through the vast expanse of space, its engines humming softly as it approached a new system. The crew was on edge, knowing that danger could be lurking behind every asteroid or gas cloud. Captain Elena Voss stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the holographic displays showing nearby star systems. Something felt off. Too quiet, too calm. It was as if the galaxy itself was holding its breath. "Anything yet?" she asked Lieutenant Marcus Kane, who sat at the sensor station. "Negative, Captain," Marcus replied, his fingers flying over the controls. "No ships, no signals. Just empty space." Alina frowned. Empty space wasn't normal in this part of the galaxy. Alien civilizations thrived here, their planets bustling with activity. Yet now, there was nothing. No signs of life, no movement. It was like the universe had been wiped clean. Private Jace Reed walked onto the bridge, his rifle slung over his shoulder. He looked uneasy, glancing around as if expecting an attack at any moment. "Captain, the men are getting restless. They think something's wrong." "They're right to feel that way," Alina said, turning to face him. "This silence, it's not natural. Stay alert." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the ship. Red lights flashed, and the crew sprang into action. On the main screen, dozens of alien ships appeared out of nowhere, surrounding the Eclipse *. They came from all directions, blocking any chance of escape. These weren't just Zorathian ships. They were vessels from races humanity had never encountered before. Sleek fighters, massive carriers, and strange biomechanical craft filled the void, their weapons trained on the warship. "This is it," Marcus whispered, his voice tight with tension. "They've united against us." Alina straightened, her expression hardening. "Raise shields. Prepare for full combat." The battle began instantly. Beams of energy crisscrossed space, lighting up the darkness like fireworks. The Eclipse *'s cannons roared, firing precise shots that tore through enemy formations. But for every ship destroyed, two more took its place. The coalition fleet was enormous, overwhelming even the mighty warship's defenses. Inside the Eclipse **, chaos reigned. Explosions rocked the ship as enemy fire breached its shields. Crew members scrambled to repair damage while others manned weapon stations, their faces pale but determined. In the engine room, Chief Engineer Clara Hayes shouted orders, her voice cutting through the noise as her team worked frantically to keep the ship running. On the bridge, Private Jace clutched his rifle, his heart pounding. He wasn't sure what he could do in a fight like this, but he refused to stand idle. "Captain, let me help," he said, stepping forward. Alina hesitated, then nodded. "Go to the lower decks. Make sure everyone stays focused. We need every hand we can get." Jace obeyed, running down corridors filled with smoke and sparks. He found soldiers huddled near damaged sections of the hull, working to seal breaches. Others manned turrets, firing endlessly at the enemy ships outside. Despite the odds, no one gave up. Humanity's survival depended on them, and they fought with everything they had. Back on the bridge, Alina watched the battle unfold, her mind racing. The Eclipse ** couldn't hold out forever. She needed a plan, and fast. Her eyes fell on the main cannon, still charging for another shot. If they could target the largest enemy ship, the flagship leading the coalition, they might break through. "Marcus, focus all power on the main cannon," she ordered. "We're taking out their leader." "But Captain, that'll leave us vulnerable." Marcus protested. "It's our only chance," she snapped. "Do it." The crew worked quickly, rerouting energy to the cannon. Seconds felt like hours as the weapon charged, glowing brighter with each passing moment. Finally, it fired, a massive beam slicing through space and striking the enemy flagship. The explosion was colossal, sending shockwaves through the battlefield. Enemy ships scattered, their formation breaking apart. For a brief moment, the tide turned. The coalition fleet faltered, unsure how to respond. Alina seized the opportunity, ordering the Eclipse * to push forward, destroying as many ships as possible. But deep down, she knew this wasn't the end. More enemies would come, stronger and smarter. Humanity's war was just beginning. As the surviving alien ships retreated, the crew of the Eclipse let out a collective sigh of relief. Victory had been won, but at a cost. The galaxy now saw humanity as a force to be reckoned with, but fear came with a price. And as the stars twinkled coldly beyond the viewport, Elena wondered if they had truly chosen the right path. The Eclipse limped through space, its once mighty frame battered and scarred. Fires had been put out, breaches sealed, and critical systems restored, but the ship was far from battle-ready. The crew moved slowly, exhaustion etched into their faces. Even Captain Elena Voss looked weary as she stood on the bridge, staring at the damage reports scrolling across her console. Every system was strained, every resource stretched thin. They had survived the Coalition fleet's ambush, but it was clear they couldn't keep fighting like this forever. Private Jace Reed wandered the corridors, his boots echoing in the eerie quiet. The adrenaline of battle had faded, leaving behind a hollow emptiness. He passed groups of engineers welding torn metal plates back into place and medics tending to wounded soldiers. Each face told the same story, relief mixed with dread. They had won, but the cost weighed heavily on everyone. In the medical bay, Sergeant Mia Torres sat on a cot, her arm wrapped in bandages. A medic hovered nearby, checking her vitals. She waved him away impatiently. "I'm fine," she muttered. "Just a scratch." Jace stopped in the doorway, watching her. "You don't look fine." Mia glanced up, giving him a tired smile. "None of us do, kid. War doesn't leave anyone untouched." Her words lingered in his mind as he continued walking. Was this what humanity's future looked like? Endless battles, endless scars. He thought about Earth, about the people waiting for news of their victory or defeat. Did they understand what was being sacrificed in their name? On the bridge, Lieutenant Marcus Kane approached Captain Voss, holding a tablet displaying intercepted communications. "Captain, we've picked up chatter from the Coalition. They're regrouping near the Krylos system." Elena frowned. "How long until they're ready to strike again?" "Not long," Marcus admitted. "A few days, maybe less. And next time, they'll come harder." She nodded grimly. "Then we need reinforcements. Send a message to command. Tell them we can't hold the line alone." Marcus hesitated. "And if they can't send help in time?" Elena didn't answer right away. Her gaze drifted to the viewport, where stars shimmered coldly against the blackness. "Then we'll make our stand here. Humanity has no other choice." As the hours passed, the crew prepared for what might be their final fight. Weapons were checked, supplies rationed, and escape pods readied, though few believed they'd have the chance to use them. Morale was low, but determination burned brightly in each heart. They were defenders of Earth, pioneers of a new era, and they would not go down without a fight. Far away, in the depths of space, alien leaders gathered once more. This time, their meeting was filled with urgency. The humans had proven themselves resilient, capable of inflicting great harm even when outnumbered. Fear spread among them, but so did resolve. If humanity wanted war, they would give it, and ensure it ended with Earth's destruction. Back aboard the Eclipse Private Jace found himself staring at the stars again. He wondered what the galaxy would look like after all this was over. Would it be free, or would it fall under humanity's shadow? And what kind of legacy would they leave behind? Captain Voss joined him at the viewport, her presence grounding him. "Thinking about home?" she asked softly. He nodded. "Yeah. I hope it's worth it. All this pain, all this loss." Elena placed a hand on his shoulder. "It has to be. We're fighting for something bigger than ourselves. For a future where humanity doesn't have to live in fear." Her words brought little comfort, but Jace appreciated the sentiment. As the Eclipse sailed onward, battered but unbroken, the galaxy braced itself for what was coming next. Humanity's warship carried not only weapons but also dreams, fears, and hopes. Whatever happened next, One thing was certain. The stars would never be the same again. The *Eclipse* drifted silently toward the Krylos system, its engines running at minimal power to conserve energy. The crew worked in near silence, their movements deliberate and focused. Everyone knew what was waiting for them. A massive alien fleet, stronger and more determined than ever before. Captain Alina Voss stood on the bridge, her sharp eyes scanning the stars ahead. She could feel the tension in the air, thick enough to cut with a knife. "Captain," Lieutenant Marcus Kane called out, his voice steady but tinged with worry. "We're entering the Krylos system. Enemy ships detected. Hundreds of them." Alina nodded, her jaw tightening. "Prepare for battle. Divert all remaining power to shields and weapons. We'll need every advantage we can get." The crews sprang into action, their training kicking in despite their exhaustion. Engineers scrambled to reroute energy, while gunners readied the cannons. On the lower decks, soldiers checked their gear, ensuring rifles were loaded and armor intact. Private Jace Reed moved among them, offering quiet words of encouragement. He wasn't sure if he believed his own words, but he knew someone had to keep spirits up. As the *Eclipse* approached the heart of the system, the enemy fleet came into view. Alien ships stretched across the void like a sea of metal and light, their weapons glowing ominously. At the center was a colossal flagship, larger than anything humanity had faced before. Its surface shimmered with strange patterns, pulsing faintly as if alive. It was clear this was no ordinary ship. It was the Coalition's ultimate weapon. "Target that flagship," Alina ordered, pointing to the massive vessel. "If we take it out, the rest will fall apart." "But Captain," Marcus protested, "their numbers are too great. Even if we destroy the flagship, they'll crush us." "We don't have a choice," she replied firmly. "It's our only shot." The battle began with a deafening roar. Energy beams crisscrossed space, lighting up the darkness. The *Eclipse*'s cannons fired relentlessly, tearing through smaller ships and creating gaps in the enemy formation. But for every ship destroyed, two more took its place. The Coalition fleet pressed forward, surrounding the warship from all sides. Inside the *Eclipse*, chaos erupted. Explosions rocked the ship as enemy fire breached its weakened shields. Alarms blared, and smoke filled the corridors. Crew members shouted orders, working desperately to keep the ship operational. Chief Engineer Clara Hayes led her team in sealing hull breaches and rerouting failing systems, her voice cutting through the noise like a blade. On the bridge, Alina watched the battle unfold, her expression grim. The main cannon was charging slowly, siphoning power from every non-essential system. Time seemed to slow as the weapon hummed to life, glowing brighter with each passing second. Finally, it fired, a massive beam slicing through space and striking the Coalition flagship. The explosion was catastrophic, sending shockwaves that rippled through the battlefield. For a moment, the enemy fleet hesitated, their formation collapsing without their leader. But the reprieve was short-lived. Smaller ships regrouped, launching a final assault on the already damaged *Eclipse*. The crew fought back fiercely, refusing to give up even as the odds turned against them. In the medical bay, Sergeant Mia Torres grabbed a rifle, joining the defense effort despite her injuries. "We're not done yet," she shouted, firing at boarding parties attempting to breach the ship. Private Jace stood beside her, his hands trembling but his aim true. He thought about Earth, about the billions of lives depending on them. This was their last stand, and he would fight until his last breath. As the battle raged on, Captain Voss made a decision. "Marcus, set the reactor to overload. If we're going down, we're taking them with us." Marcus stared at her, wide-eyed. "Captain." "Do it," she said firmly. "It's the only way." The countdown began, and the crew prepared for the end. But even as the *Eclipse* hurtled toward destruction, its legacy burned brightly in the hearts of those aboard. Humanity's warship had shown the galaxy its strength, and its resolve. Whatever happened next, the stars would never forget. The countdown echoed through the *eclipse*, each second ticking away like a heartbeat racing toward its final moment. The crew worked frantically, their faces pale but resolute. Captain Alina Voss stood on the bridge, her hands gripping the railing as she stared at the chaos outside. Enemy ships swarmed around them, firing relentlessly, their weapons tearing through what little remained of the warship's shields. Sparks flew across the consoles, and smoke filled the air, but no one stopped moving. 30 seconds to reactor overload, Lieutenant Marcus Kane announced, his voice steady despite the fear in his eyes. He glanced at Alina, searching for any sign of doubt, but her expression was unshakable. She had made her choice, and there was no turning back now. Private Jace Reed moved through the corridors, helping wounded soldiers to safety. His rifle hung loosely from his shoulder, useless against the overwhelming force closing in. He passed Chief Engineer Clara Hayes, who was shouting orders to her team as they sealed off sections of the ship. Her face was streaked with soot, but her determination burned brighter than ever. "We can't hold them off much longer," someone yelled from down the hall. Jace clenched his fists. "We don't need to hold them off. We just need to survive these last few seconds." On the bridge, Alina gave one final order. "Send a message to Earth. Tell them we held the line. Tell them humanity will endure." Marcus typed furiously at his console, sending the transmission into the void. It wasn't much, just a few words, but it carried the weight of everything the crew had fought for. As the message left the ship, the enemy forces breached the hull, flooding the lower decks with alien soldiers. Gunfire erupted, echoing through the corridors as humanity's defenders fought to the bitter end. Sergeant Mia Torres led a small group of soldiers in holding back the invaders, her injured arm barely slowing her down. "Stay strong," she shouted, firing her rifle with precision. "For Earth." Her words ignited a spark in those around her, giving them the strength to fight even as hope slipped away. One by one, they fell, but not before taking scores of enemies with them. The *eclipse* became a tomb for both sides, its corridors littered with bodies and wreckage. Back on the bridge, the countdown reached its final moments. 10 seconds, Marcus said, his voice trembling. He looked at Alina, tears streaming down his face. "Captain." Alina placed a hand on his shoulder, offering a small, sad smile. "It's been an honor, Marcus. All of you. You've made me proud." The crew exchanged glances, some nodding, others whispering farewells. They had come so far, fought so hard, and now their journey was ending. But they were not afraid. They had done their duty. Humanity would live on because of their sacrifice. Outside, the Coalition fleet realized too late what was happening. The *eclipse* reactor began to destabilize, glowing brighter with every passing second. Alien commanders screamed orders to retreat, but it was futile. The warship was already a beacon of destruction, its light piercing the darkness of space. 5, 4, 3. Marcus counted down, his voice breaking. Alina closed her eyes, picturing Earth, the blue skies, the rolling oceans, the billions of lives waiting for a future. This was for them. 2, 1. The *eclipse* exploded in a blinding flash, a supernova of fire and energy that consumed everything nearby. Enemy ships were vaporized instantly, their remains scattered across the void. The shockwave rippled outward, silencing the galaxy for miles. Far away on Earth, the message arrived. Short, simple, yet powerful. We held the line. Humanity will endure. Though the *eclipse* was gone, its legacy lived on. The galaxy watched in stunned silence, witnessing the lengths humanity would go to protect its own. Fear lingered in the hearts of those who once sought to destroy Earth, but so did respect. For the first time, they understood the true cost of underestimating humanity. And among the stars, the memory of the *eclipse* burned brightly, a reminder that even in the face of impossible odds, courage and sacrifice could change the course of history. The explosion of the eclipse left a scar on the galaxy, both literal and figurative. A vast cloud of debris and radiation lingered in the Krylos system, a grim reminder of the battle that had taken place. The Coalition fleet, or what remained of it, retreated in disarray, their ships damaged and their morale shattered. The aliens who had once dismissed humanity as weak now spoke of the warship with awe and fear. The eclipse had been destroyed, but its sacrifice had changed everything. On Earth, news of the battle spread quickly. At first, there was silence, a heavy, suffocating quiet as people processed the loss of the mighty warship and its crew. Flags were lowered to half-mast, and memorials were held in cities across the planet. Images of Captain Elena Voss and her crew appeared on screens worldwide, their faces etched into history as heroes who had given everything for humanity's survival. But grief soon turned to resolve. The message sent by the eclipse we held the line. Humanity will endure became a rallying cry. Leaders from every nation stood together, vowing to honor the fallen by continuing their fight. New ships were commissioned, larger and more advanced than ever before. Factories worked day and night, producing weapons, shields, and engines. Humanity would not back down. It could not. The galaxy now knew what humans were capable of, and Earth would ensure they never forgot. In orbit around Earth, construction began on a new fleet of warships. Among them was the Phoenix named for the mythical bird that rose from ashes. It was bigger than the eclipse faster, stronger, and equipped with cutting-edge technology developed in secret over the years. Its design incorporated lessons learned from the battles fought by the eclipse blending raw power with tactical precision. When completed, the Phoenix would become the symbol of humanity's resilience, a promise that no matter how many times they were knocked down, they would rise again. Private Jace Reed's family received a letter from Command, informing them of his sacrifice. His younger sister, Lily, read it aloud to their parents, tears streaming down her face. But even as she cried, she felt a strange sense of pride. Jace had always dreamed of making a difference, of protecting others. Now he was a hero, his name spoken alongside those who had saved humanity from extinction. Far beyond Earth, alien leaders gathered once more, their expressions grim. The destruction of the eclipse should have ended the threat posed by humanity. But instead, it had only made them more dangerous. The Coalition's unity began to fracture, with some factions questioning whether continuing the war was worth the cost. Others, however, vowed to press on, determined to crush Earth before it grew too powerful. One such leader was an insectoid commander named Zuller, whose species had suffered heavy losses during the battle. Standing before a holographic map of the galaxy, Zuller addressed his council. The humans are wounded, but not defeated. If we do not act now, they will rebuild and return stronger than ever. But at what cost? Another leader asked, his voice trembling. How many more lives must we lose? Ziller's eyes gleamed with cold determination. As many as it takes. Meanwhile, deep in space, a small probe drifted silently through the wreckage of the eclipse Sent by Earth shortly after receiving the final message, it carried a single phrase encoded in its systems. To those who seek peace, we offer friendship. To those who seek war, we offer resistance. The galaxy watched and waited. Humanity had proven itself willing to pay any price to protect its future. And though the scars of the eclipse's destruction would fade with time, the memory of its crew and their sacrifice would never be forgotten. Out among the stars, something stirred. The Phoenix was nearing completion, its engines humming softly as it prepared for its maiden voyage. Somewhere within its corridors, a new crew stood ready, their hearts filled with purpose. They carried the torch lit by the Eclipse asterisk, determined to forge a path forward, not just for survival, but for hope. And so, amidst the ruins of war, humanity took its first step toward a brighter future. The galaxy had learned to fear Earth's might, but it would also come to respect its courage. Whatever challenges lay ahead, one truth remained clear: humanity would endure. The launch of the Phoenix was a moment that united humanity. Broadcast live across the globe, it marked not just the beginning of a new mission, but also a turning point for Earth. Thousands gathered to watch as the massive warship rose into the sky, its sleek design glinting in the sunlight. Cheers erupted from the crowd, blending with the hum of its powerful engines. For the first time in months, hope replaced fear. On board the Phoenix Captain Sofia Alvarez stood at the helm, her sharp gaze fixed on the stars ahead. She was younger than Elena Voss, but carried the same air of quiet determination. Her uniform bore no medals. She had earned her place through skill and leadership rather than seniority. Behind her, the crew worked efficiently, their movements precise and practiced. Many were veterans who had served under Voss, while others were newcomers inspired by the legacy of the Eclipse asterisk. Together, they formed a team ready to face whatever lay ahead. Captain, called Lieutenant Raj Patel, the ship's chief navigator, "We've cleared Earth's orbit. All systems are functioning at optimal levels." Sophia nodded. "Set course for the Krylos system. Let's see what we're up against." As the Phoenix sailed through space, the crew spent hours reviewing data collected by probes sent to study the aftermath of the Eclipse's destruction. Images of the debris field filled the main screen, a haunting reminder of the cost of war. But among the wreckage, something unusual caught their attention: faint energy signatures emanating from one section of the cloud. It wasn't alien technology, it was human. "That can't be right," muttered Chief Engineer Maizong, leaning closer to her console. "Some systems might still be active out there." Sophia frowned. "Send a drone to investigate. If anything survived, we need to know." Hours later, the drone returned with startling news. Buried deep within the debris was a single escape pod, its life support systems barely operational. Inside was a lone survivor, Private Jace Reed. When the pod was brought aboard, the medical team worked quickly to stabilize him. His body was weak, his mind foggy from months adrift in space, but he was alive. As he opened his eyes and saw the faces of the Phoenix's crew, tears welled up in his own. "You made it," he whispered hoarsely. "I knew you'd come." News of Jace's survival spread quickly through the ship, lifting spirits even higher. For many, he was a living link to the Eclipse proof that their sacrifice had not been in vain. Sophia visited him in the medical bay, sitting beside his bed as he recounted his story. "I don't remember much," Jace admitted. "Just flashes of the battle, the explosion, waking up alone in the dark." He looked at her, his voice trembling. "They didn't die for nothing, Captain. We have to finish what they started." Sophia placed a hand on his shoulder. "We will. And when we do, it'll be because of them, and because of you." Meanwhile, in the galaxy beyond, whispers of the Phoenix's arrival reached alien ears. The coalition forces, still fractured after the loss of their flagship, debated how to respond. Some argued for diplomacy, believing humanity could be reasoned with if approached carefully. Others, like Zillar, insisted on wiping out Earth's fleet before it grew too strong. "They think they've won," Zyler growled during a council meeting. "But they don't understand. They've only delayed their end." Back aboard the Phoenix preparations continued. Weapons were tested, shields reinforced, and strategies refined. The crew trained tirelessly, knowing their next encounter could decide the fate of humanity. They carried the weight of the galaxy on their shoulders, but faced it with unwavering resolve. One night, as the ship drifted silently through space, Jace joined Sophia on the observation deck. Together, they stared out at the stars, their light shimmering like distant promises. "What happens now?" Jace asked quietly. Sophia smiled, though her eyes remained serious. "Now we fight. For peace, for survival, for everyone back home. The road ahead won't be easy, but we'll walk it together." Jace nodded, feeling a spark of hope ignite within him. The scars of the past would never fully heal, but they would serve as reminders of why they fought. Humanity had risen from the ashes once, and it would do so again. Out among the stars, the Phoenix sailed onward, its presence a beacon of resilience. The galaxy watched, waiting to see what this new chapter would bring. Whatever came next, one thing was certain: humanity's story was far from over. The Phoenix entered the Krylos system, its arrival marked by a tense silence. The crew stood ready, their hands hovering over controls as sensors scanned the area for signs of enemy activity. But instead of the massive fleet they had anticipated, the system seemed eerily empty. Ships that once patrolled these regions were gone, leaving behind only drifting debris and abandoned outposts. Captain Sofia Alvarez frowned as she studied the readings on the main screen. "This doesn't make sense," she muttered. "Where is everyone?" Lieutenant Raj Patil adjusted his console, narrowing down the scans. "There's residual energy in the outer sectors, signs of recent movement. Whoever was here left in a hurry." Sophia straightened, her sharp eyes scanning the void. "They know we're coming. This could be a trap." Private Jace Reed, now recovered enough to rejoin the crew, stood nearby. His face was pale but determined. "If it's a trap, we can handle it. We've faced worse." Sophia gave him a small smile. "Let's hope you're right. Keep shields up and prepare for anything." As the Phoenix moved deeper into the system, strange signals began to appear on their monitors. Encrypted messages bouncing between distant planets. Chief Engineer Mai Zong worked quickly to decode them, her fingers flying across her console. After several tense minutes, she looked up, her expression grim. "They're calling for reinforcements," Mai said. "From multiple systems. They're planning to surround us." Sophia clenched her jaw. "How much time do we have?" "Not long," Mai replied. "Maybe hours." The crew sprang into action, rerouting power to weapons and reinforcing defenses. On the bridge, Lieutenant Patel plotted potential escape routes, while Jace helped coordinate teams stationed at turrets throughout the ship. Everyone knew what was at stake. If they were caught off guard, the Phoenix would suffer the same fate as the Eclipse *. But Sophia had no intention of retreating. "We didn't come here to run," she said firmly. "Set course for the nearest alien outpost. If they want to fight, we'll give them one." The Phoenix descended on the outpost like a storm, its cannons firing precise shots that tore through the station's defenses. Alien fighters scrambled to respond, but they were no match for the warship's superior firepower. Within minutes, the outpost was reduced to rubble, its communications silenced. Back on the bridge, Sophia watched the destruction unfold with a mixture of satisfaction and sorrow. Each victory came at a cost, and she couldn't help but wonder how many lives had been lost in the process. But there was no turning back now. Humanity's survival depended on their ability to stand firm, even when the odds seemed impossible. As the battle ended, a transmission crackled through the comms. It was Zilar, his insectoid form flickering on the main screen. His voice was cold, dripping with venom. "You think this changes anything? You are outnumbered, outmatched. Your defiance will lead to your extinction." Sophia met his gaze without flinching. "We've heard threats before, and yet here we are, still standing." Zoller's mandibles clicked angrily. "Enjoy your fleeting victory, humans. When the full might of our coalition arrives, you will beg for mercy." The transmission cut off, leaving an uneasy quiet in its wake. The crew exchanged glances, knowing the worst was yet to come, but fear wasn't an option, not anymore. That night, Jace found himself staring out at the stars from the observation deck. He thought about the *Eclipse*, about Captain Voss, and the crew who had given everything. Their sacrifice had paved the way for moments like this, for humanity to rise and fight another day. "We're not just fighting for Earth," he said softly, more to himself than anyone else. "We're fighting for something bigger, a future where no one has to live in fear." Behind him, Sophia stepped onto the deck, joining him in silence for a moment. "You're right," she finally said. "And whatever happens next, we'll face it together." Out among the stars, the galaxy braced itself for what was coming. The *Phoenix* sailed onward, its presence a testament to humanity's resilience. Fear lingered in the hearts of those who opposed them, but so did respect. Whatever battles lay ahead, one truth remained clear: humanity would endure. And this time, they wouldn't stop until peace was theirs.